listen, I think going into this, I felt like I was bulletproof, and I learned that I'm not bulletproof. Um, but, but with that, also, like, you know, one thing I've learned is that wherever you're at in life, you're gonna have struggles, right? And those struggles are real. And, there are
Yeah.
times in life where you're just under what feels like a tremendous amount of pressure.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I am very, very excited about this podcast episode today. I'm excited to be here. I got a gentleman. I don't think on this podcast I had a chance to talk about this specific topic, but you can look. You already see. You probably can read what his moniker is at the bottom. Laundromat Resource. So we're gonna talk about laundromats. But listen to me. This ain't gonna be no boring episode. This gentleman, the way he has laid things out, it has me rethinking about laundromats and an antiquated mindset, right? Because this gentleman said to me, he got a tripod. Do you want to talk about cash flow? Do you want to talk about equity buildup? If you want to talk about tax advantages, let's talk laundromats. Yeah. So yes, that probably perked y'all up a little bit, right? Because when y'all hear those three things, you're probably like, wait a minute, what? So I cannot wait for you all to get the chance to listen to Mr. Jordan Berry. Mr. Jordan, how you doing today, sir?
Quentin, man, I am super pumped to be here chatting with you about laundromats and real estate today. We won't leave real estate out because I do a little bit of both, and excited to chat with you, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. No, but listen, I ain't gonna let us leave real estate out. I know you ain't either. But here's the thing. Laundromats, last time I looked, they sit on real estate. Last time I thought. Is
That's
that
right.
right?
That's
Yeah, okay.
right. That's
So
exactly
we
right.
yeah, we hit the business, man. We here, bro. But no, I no, but I'm joking, but I appreciate that because I think it's all related, right? And already talking to you, I already know that we ain't gonna have to pander. All this is gonna all make sense once we get to the end of this. I want to dive right in. All right, Jordan. And our tech team will take care of all that. And if hopefully I won't have no more problems. If I do the same thing, I'll come back in. So yeah. But let's dive in, brother.
Yeah,
I want you to tell the people what your main focus is these
no
days.
problem.
Jordan, I would love for you to give us a little bit of an origin story, kind of how you got started into this space, even in the real estate space altogether. I love the origin stories. And man, tell them what part of the world you're in. So where you how you got what you're doing, origin story, and where you are. Mr. Jordan,
Hmm.
sir, you have the floor.
So yeah, so I was a pastor and a youth pastor, 14, 15 years. And at around that point, I had two young kids at the time and a wife. And I was looking to make a transition out of doing that vocationally and, still involved in church, still involved in ministry, all that stuff, but wanted to do something different vocationally. And so trying to figure out what to
Yeah,
do with my life. All my work
yeah,
experience was a pastor. I went, seminary and stuff. So schooling was pastoral. So I was like, what do I do with my life? And
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
at the time we lived in Southern California, owned our house there. And I told my wife, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we rent out our house, in Southern California, take the money we have in the bank and our 2 young kids. Let's buy a condo on the beach in Hawaii and, do whatever. And I don't know, sell jewelry on the beach in Hawaii. I don't know. Right. And my wife said we could do that or we could buy a laundromat. And so we ended up not buying a condo on the beach in Hawaii, and we bought a laundromat instead. And the reason that this came up, which is funny, if you knew my wife, you'd know this is a really funny suggestion for her because it is not like her to say something like this. But she had a family friend who was working a tech job in the San Francisco Bay Area, making really good money, but working, 70, 80 hours a week. And he bought one laundromat, replaced his tech job income, and was working 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, like that's the goal. That's the dream. Why don't we just do that? That sounds great. So that's what we did. We bought a laundromat, and I'll tell you, Quentin, man, it did not go that way for us. It was rough.
Yeah.
We bought what I call a zombie mat, and it basically a fixer upper laundromat. And it was it was rough. And this is, mind you, this was maybe 14 years ago now. There really wasn't a whole lot of information on how to own a laundromat, how to buy a laundromat, how to do due diligence on a laundromat. There really wasn't information or resources to do that back then. And so we relied on, this family friend who had a very clean, very easy experience and didn't really have to learn any hard lessons. And our broker, who turns out was just trying to sell us, whatever he could sell us. And so he sold us a business that was it was rough. We put on all new equipment. We did a remodel on it. But one lesson I learned pretty quickly, well, it took me a little while to learn it actually, was it's way easier to rehab and remodel a laundromat than it is to rehab the reputation of the laundromat. So I spent a lot of money rehabbing the laundromat and spent $0 rehabbing the reputation of the laundromat. And because of that, we lost money for a couple years probably. And it was rough because, the goal here was to have money coming in and not a whole lot of time invested in it, right? And because of the way that I bought this laundromat, and because I didn't know what to do with it, it ended up being the exact opposite. We were losing money, and I was spending a lot of time over there trying to figure out, you know, what to do, right? And there's a stat that floats out around there. I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but stat is that laundromats have a 95% success rate. And it is high. I don't know if it's 95%, but it is high, very high success rate. But I couldn't figure out why I couldn't do this easy business. Everybody else could figure it out. How am I in the bottom 5% of this business? And um I just struggled, and I decided, I could either try to dump this thing or I could, stick with it and try to figure it out, and stuck with it and figured it out. And now here I am on your podcast talking about laundromats.
Listen, man, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
I
origin
know how it
story.
goes. The
Thank you
struggle
for
is
taking
real.
us through the journey. Just quick, just tell you the little parallels. My dad's been a pastor for over 40 years. I've done seminar, been in ministry, and so I actively weave in that kind of part of my life into the podcast. Not trying to browbeat people, but it's who we are, I like I love the fact that you led with it, man. And so youth pastor for over 14
Yeah.
years at a time, 2 kids, wife.
Yeah,
Went to
yeah.
seminar from Southern Cal and said, "Hey, babe, let me show you the dream, boo. Let's buy a condo."
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
On the beach in Hawaii. And your wife said, "No, we're gonna buy a laundromat."
That's right.
And so I love how you said zombie mat. Oh man, I love that, bro. I love how you took us through the journey. And I love the insight of rehabbing the reputation, how you didn't spend enough time doing that. Because I can just think about laundromats in my part of, where I live, and how when somebody take over that, we already like, we ain't going
Mhm.
there. We don't care who you are. And so I love the mindset of rehabbing the reputation. And I want to say that I say this probably once every podcast. Jordan, I say destiny has no wasted moments, right? Meaning no matter what you go through in life, these moments make up where we are now. Like we borrow from each moment. We may borrow mindset, we may borrow discipline and
Mhm.
resilience. We borrow from different moments to make us who we are now. And so, Jordan, you laid it out perfectly, man, the journey. I would love to know, what have you learned about yourself within this journey? What comes to mind? What are some of the adjectives or words that come to mind, Jordan, that you have borrowed all these moments and learned about yourself now?
Yeah. Listen, I think going into this, I felt like I was bulletproof, and I learned that I'm not bulletproof. Um, but but with that, also, like, you know, one thing I've learned is that wherever you're at in life, you're gonna have struggles, right? And those struggles are real. And, there are
Yeah.
times in life where you're just under what feels like a tremendous amount of pressure. And that was
Mm.
early on in that first laundromat. That was the
Yeah.
point of life that I was in, is I
Yeah.
was under a tremendous amount of pressure. I felt like a failure. I was losing money. I had two young
Yeah.
kids and a wife. I just quit my job. My wife wasn't
Yeah.
working. We're just trying to figure out how to make life work, and it it was a lot, right? And,
Mhm.
but, you know, number 1, those moments don't last forever, right? And that can be
Right.
a hard lesson to keep in mind when you're in the midst of those things. So if you're out there listening to this, going through a difficult time, they don't last forever. So keep that in mind. Number 2 is one of the unexpected byproducts of going through that phase for myself was I didn't realize that you
Yeah.
can grow the the amount that you can handle, right? It
Yeah.
expanded me, and probably I look back now, like there was a time where I was like juggling bills, like do I pay the water bill or do I pay the gas bill for the laundromat, right? Like, if I don't pay the water bill, they're gonna give me 3 months and they're not gonna charge me interest, but if I don't pay the gas bill, I gotta do it, right? So I'm like
Yeah.
like those just felt like overwhelming decisions. And after having gone through that now, they don't feel like
Yeah.
such big deals anymore, right? Like if I'm in that situation again, I just know I've got to make wise
Yeah.
decisions. I got to do the best I
Yeah.
can and then just let it go, right? And so the problems that I can deal with now, like my capacity to deal with problems has grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of it that way, but that's part of like going through life, is learning how to deal with larger and larger problems. And as you're building wealth, as you're having a bigger impact in your community, things like that, the problems get bigger. And so if you don't go through any
Mm.
difficulties before you get
Mm.
in those roles, you're not gonna
Yeah, yeah,
have the capability or the capacity to handle those problems. So it's just part of life and it's part of the process. Not a pleasant part all the time, but it is
yeah.
part of the
Mm,
process,
mm.
and it
So
is
listen,
the
when
only
you
path
started
that
talking,
I
I
know
actually
of, at
broke down the
least,
word
to be able
capacity.
to
Once you
achieve
started
whatever your goals you
unpacking it
have.
out,
You've got
and
to
then
go
you
through some
knocked
of
on the
those
word.
difficult
So I'm gonna
times.
talk like this because I can talk like this to you.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Scripture says that Jesus learned obedience through suffering. So, like, sometimes our capacity
Mhm,
grows
mhm,
through the tough times, and that's how it
mhm.
grows. And I think somewhere in just our DNA of scripture creation
Yeah,
DNA is that's part of us learning the capacity is through going through some of the hard times. Trial come to make us strong, right? Even scientifically, and I wish I can remember the part of the brain, but there's a part of the brain that doesn't even get touched and
that's right.
expand until you actually go through difficult times. Like, and I wish I could call out the part, but it's some part that doesn't even touch and grow unless we're dealing with difficult things. And so it's
Mhm.
just part of our wiring. And so I appreciate you. Thank you for the gift, what I call the gift of your vulnerability. Because I try to, one of the things I try to do here, and I
Yep,
ask that question specifically about destiny and what has it taught you? Because no matter what business you're in, the constant thing in that business is you. And so, man, I thank you for just your self awareness, man, and the way
dude.
you. I love saying this word, stick to itiveness is one of my favorite words, but I love how you just sticking to it, man. What's the next real goal for you, sir? What are you looking to solve and scale next with the business?
Well, listen, I gotta say, the journey has evolved along the way, buying multiple laundromats and working with operating partners and implementing new technologies. I mentioned to you, I think before we hit record, that uh, we're from Southern California, and the original goal was, to go to Hawaii, and we chose to do a laundromat instead, and it went wrong and kind of went off course a little bit there. But I gotta say,
Oh,
like right now, looking over the computer
it's
screen,
great.
I'm staring at the Pacific
Oh, come
Ocean
on.
from our house in Hawaii. This is actually from our front yard. This picture behind us here. Um, and so, the journey is, you just don't know, right? You just don't know where the journey is gonna take you. And this is not to say like, you know, everything is exactly how we want it to be. It's not. I mean, there's still more to go. And really, I think the the place where I'm at in life now is less about where I want to how I want to grow the business. It is about that. I do think about that a lot too, but it's also like, how can I make the biggest positive impact right now, right? Is that opening more laundromats? Is that, I've got the Laundromat Resource platform, where if laundromats are a great way for you to achieve your goals, we want to make sure we help you get there, right? So that's great. But really, I'm looking for opportunities to just make positive impact here and help in big ways and small ways. Help
Yeah,
people build the lives that they want to build, and help them achieve whatever their goals are. So that's what it's
yeah,
about. I mean, probably that means more laundromats in my future is my guess. But I don't, I don't know yet. I'm in a phase right now where I'm like taking stock of life and
oh,
enjoying life. My kids are getting older. My son's about to turn 15, and my daughter's 12 and has written 2 books. And I'm just trying to enjoy those guys right now. As you know, my time is limited with them being at home still. And so, but it's always this balance of figuring out, what direction to go in life and
Yeah,
enjoying where
yeah.
you're at,
No, I
but
love it, man.
also
And listen,
looking
you
to
hit
see
on
where
you
God
hit
wants to
on a
take you.
word that I like to talk about. You didn't say it, but you hit on it. The word relationship, right? And so I just want to get your perspective on relationships, period.
Hmm.
Business, personal, just when you hear the word relationship, what comes to mind? What feeling kind of evokes a thought
Hmm.
invokes in your head when you hear that word?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the, the, the thing that comes to mind is at the core of life, right? Like, whether it's relationship with God or relationship with family, friends, business partners, like life is not meant to be lived alone, right? Problems are not meant to be gone through on your own. We've talked about, I think before we hit record, but we talked about mastermind groups and mentors and things like that. Business partners, like this life is not
Yeah,
meant to be lived alone, but being an entrepreneur can be very isolating, right? Being a business owner can be very isolating, can be very lonely.
yeah.
Quote unquote normal people who don't do this to themselves, they don't understand a lot of the problems, the stresses, the difficulties that we go through as business owners. So, um, you know, when you ask me what do I think about in when I hear relationships, I mean, I think it's the core of life. It's what it's all about. And so, finding and surrounding yourself with good people is probably one of the most important things you can do in your life, whether that's in business or in your friendships, in your families. And then kind of on the flip side of that is being the kind of person that people want to surround themselves with. It's really easy to focus outward, but but we also got to be the kind of people who our family need us to be, who our friends, you know, want to be around, and we're going to be bringing them up, and who people want to partner with in business.
So listen, man. Let's wrap this up because I absolutely love you talking about being around the people that you want to be. I mean, I love that. I think that's a great philosophy. Um, Listen, man. If someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, learn more about what you're doing, how can they get in contact with you, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. So Laundromat Resource is a platform, laundromatresource.com. We've got a podcast, we've got a YouTube channel, all the socials. Uh, Jordan, Jordan at laundromatresource.com is my email address. Happy to talk laundromats with you. Happy to talk real estate investing with you. I do both. I like both.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.